Hello dear students of third prep science. Let's go to start our episode today as we have to study the lenses. Here we have new lesson as we have lesson 2, unit 2. We talk about lenses. First we should know how can we differentiate between lenses and mirrors. Firstly, mirror are reflecting surface, as we have two types of mirrors, as we have for example a plane mirror and we have a spherical mirror. But on the other side we have lenses. Lenses are transparent medium, not opaque medium as a mirror reflecting the light. But here we talk about lenses, and lenses transparent medium that refracts the light. يعني بتعمل انكسار لللايت، مش بتعمل له انعكاس لللايت. تمام. So we have today to study the lenses, the parts or the main parts of the lenses, as we have two main types of the lenses, as we have concave lens and the convex lens. So here we have to start with number 1 or point number 1 in our episode today. نبتدي مع بعض بالفيرست point in our lesson today اللي هي lenses. يلا نشوف مع بعض. نبدأ with the first part على المونيتور لو سمحتوا. With the first part in our episode today, as we have unit 2, lesson 2, lenses. We have, as we see, lenses أو العدسات is what? Firstly, we will define lenses is what? It is a transparent medium, يعني حاجة شفافة that refracts the light and is defined with two spherical surfaces. Again, we talk about what? We talk about lenses. Lenses is transparent medium. بتعمل ايه؟ refracts the light and at the same time defined with two spherical surfaces. So from this definition we know now any lens is apart from two spheres, not from only one sphere. If we have, as we see here, sphere like that and we have another sphere like that, each one of them has center of curvature as its own center of curvature, C and C. So any lens has two centers of curvature. أي lens عندها اتنين centers of curvature، مش عندها center of curvature واحد بس. And at the same time the lens is transparent medium, refracts the light. بتكسر اللايت. So for example لو أنا جيت هنا و يعني cut this part and cut another part, we have here in this part we have lens. عندنا هنا في الحتة دي بس we have lens. Or from other side we have, as in this diagram شكل تاني كده, we have a sphere like that and we have another sphere like that. Between the two spheres we have طبعا lens here, but this lens is what? As we see زي ما احنا شايفين كده قدام. This part is the lens. يعني الجزء ده هو اللي هيبقى اللينز. For example, as we see here عندنا this part كده is the lens. So we have two main types of the lenses. Number one, here we have convex lens and here we have concave lens. If you want to describe or to define the convex and the concave lens, لو أنا حبيت إن أنا أعمل لهم to define each one of them. So convex lens is what? Thin at the tips، يعني رفيعة من الأطراف، but thick at the what? The middle، وتخينة من النص. But we define now concave. So concave lens is what? Thick at the tips and thin at the middle. العكس، يبقى thick at the tips، تخينة من الأطراف، and thin at the middle. At the what? At the middle. And we have, as we see here, we have two centers of curvature. لما يجي يسألني give reason for, the lenses have two centers of curvature because any lens is apart from two spheres or defined with two spherical surfaces. دي الإجابة بتاعت الquestion. Give reason for, the lenses have two centers of curvature because in any lens is defined with two spherical surfaces. طبعا the lens is usually made of. اللينز معمولة من ايه؟ Usually made of what? Glass or what? Or plastic. We have two materials to made or to make a lens. So we have glass and we have plastic. We have many uses of the lens. For example, we have in medical eyeglasses العدسات الطبية أو النظارات الطبية, in as a magnifier to see the minute اللي هي الأجزاء الدقيقة, magnifying lens عدسة مكبرة. As here we have for example microscope زي ما احنا شايفين قدامنا. We can say also in this uses we have telescope. ممكن أقول التلسكوب from the uses of lenses. Microscope, telescope, magnifier to see the minute parts, medical eye lenses. واحد ممكن we can say also the eye glasses or the eye contact lenses العدسات اللاصقة. So we have here many uses of the lenses. Here we have, as we said before, telescope from the uses of the lenses. So we have types of lenses as we studied before. We have two main types, as we have convex lenses and the convex lenses. We have this lens is what? Is thick at the middle, thin at the tips. يبقى هي بتبقى ايه؟ thin at the tips, رفيعة من الأطراف, and thick at the middle. But at the same time we should know convex lens is what? Is converging lens. Here we have give reason for. Convex lens is a converging lenses. Why? Why these lenses is converge? We know converge which means collect. مجمعة, يعني عدسة مجمعة. معناها ان هي collect light rays. But we talk about lens at the same time. So here we will say in the answer collect light rays. بتجمع اللايت. But we talk about lens. So we say after refraction. After what? Refraction. We just translate converging, which means collect. Collect what? Light rays. And we translate lenses as the behavior of lens is what? After refraction. We have يعني for as we have a little review كده, we have concave mirror. Concave mirror. Also concave mirror is used for example يعني in solar oven, الفرن الشمسي, يعني converging mirror. يبقى concave mirror is what? Converging. But converging what? Mirror. Why? It collects light rays after reflection, because we talk about what? We talk about mirror. We have another type, as we have concave lens. As we see here, we have thick at the tips, تخينة من الأطراف, and thin at the middle, رفيعة من النص. So we have here diverging lens اللي هي concave lens. Diverging, which means what? Separate. Separate what? Light rays after what? After refraction. After refraction. So we just translate. منترجم مش أكتر. Just we have diverging, which means separate light rays. And we talk about lens, so after refraction. On the other side we have عندنا here we have طبعا convex mirror أو convex mirrors. Convex mirrors is diverging mirror. ها يبقى هقول له because it separates light rays after reflection, because here we talk about what? We talk about mirror. Okay. We have the center of curvature of the lens. If we remember the center of curvature of the mirror, we can define the center of curvature of the lens. Center of curvature of the mirror, of spherical mirror especially, is the center of the sphere that this mirror is a part of. Center of the sphere that this mirror is a part of. So here we talk about what? Center of the sphere that this lens is a part of. هقولها له برضو كده. Center of the sphere, مركز الكورة, that this lens is a part of. اللي العدسة دي حتة منها. And at the same time we have two centers of curvature because the lens is apart from two spheres or defined with two spherical surfaces. So center of curvature here is what? Center of the sphere that this lens is a part of. اللي العدسة جزء منها. Or the face of the lens is a part of. Center of the sphere, as we see here we have center of the sphere. That this lens as a part of, we have two faces of the lens, not only one face, because the lens is apart from two spheres, not only from one sphere as spherical mirror. We have optical center and its symbol is P. So optical center here, we remember pole of the mirror. Pole of the mirror. We have spherical mirror like that as concave mirror, and we have pole of the mirror P of the mirror. Pole of the mirror is a midpoint on what? Midpoint on the reflecting surface. But here optical center is the midpoint, or is a midpoint, هو المidpoint between what? Between the two faces. Midpoint between the two faces of the lens. Because again للمرة ال500 any lens has two spherical surfaces or has two faces. So we have optical center, and the optical center here is the midpoint between what? Two spherical surfaces, or between the two faces of the lens. يبقى midpoint, اكتبها تاني, midpoint between two faces of the lens. هو النقطة اللي في النص ما بين the two faces of the lens. As concave or convex. We have here principal axis. Principal axis. As we see here, we have principal axis. This straight line is called the principal axis. So, principal axis of the mirror. If you want to remember the principal axis of what? Of the mirror. لو أنا هتكلم as mirror here. Principal axis of the spherical mirror. We can remember is what? P, and here we have C. Principal axis of the mirror is a straight line passes through optical pole of the mirror and the center of curvature. Between pole of the mirror and center of curvature. And here we have principal axis in the lenses is a straight line connects or passes through the two centers of curvature and the optical center. And what optical center? So any lens or any spherical mirror has only one principal axis. We have only one principal axis as a give reason for in spherical mirrors or in lenses. Why? As a define, we should define just هنا أقول التعريف. So it is a straight line between center of curvature and pole of the mirror, or it is a straight line passes through the two centers of curvature and optical center in the lens. Okay. We have radius of curvature. Radius of curvature. لو نفتكر مع بعض radius of curvature of the mirror, spherical mirror. Radius of curvature of the spherical mirror, as here, like that. Concave mirror, and here we have center of curvature, C. Here we have pole of the mirror, P. And from distance from C to P is what? Is radius of curvature. And from C to any point on the mirror is called radius of curvature. So radius of curvature of the spherical mirror is a distance. خلي بالنا لأن ده radius مش principal axis. We measure radius by ruler. So it is a distance between the center of curvature and any point on the mirror, including pole of the mirror. But here, if you want to call radius of curvature of the lens, radius of curvature of the lens, as we see here, it is the radius of curvature of the sphere. We can say distance between optical center and center of curvature. ما ينفعش. Why? Why? For example, أنا عندي two spheres and we agree that any lens is apart from two spheres. Here we have a sphere. From this point to this point as radius here. We have what? We have here radius from C to this point. Okay? Radius. Okay? And we have another spherical mirror أو sphere. عندنا كورة تانية أهو. We have center of curvature C and we have radius. radius هيبقى منين لفين؟ from this point to this point. Radius of this sphere. We talk about this sphere, صح? So we can say radius of curvature is the distance between C and P. ما ينفعش. Optical center. Because the optical as a radius of curvature here is a radius of the sphere. Radius of the sphere. يبقى radius of the sphere that this lens is a part of. Not like the radius of curvature in the mirror. Secondary axis, and this definition is the last definition in this episode, dear students. We have secondary axis in the spherical mirror. P, and here we have C. So, secondary axis, it is any straight line passes through center of curvature and any point on the mirror except what? Except pole. يعني هنا ما ينفعش. So we have infinite number of secondary axes in the spherical mirror. At the same time, secondary axis in the lenses is straight line passes through what? passes through the optical center only. So here we have secondary axis, and here we have secondary axis, and so on. So we have infinite number of secondary axes. Okay, dear students, by the end of this point, we will complete next time, inshallah, next episode. Until we meet again, thank you. See you. Goodbye.